this is going to be the whole deal. You're basically getting a tin can with crystals in it that have been sized to be accepted by a specific size pipe. You're going to get this can. It's going to have a hole cut out in the bottom of it. You're going to have one of these inside. There's going to be a template, right? There's 3 templates here. One is for the base. That's the one that has one hole only drilled through the center. The rest of them are going to be, the other 2 are going to be your templates for the pipes on the inside, okay? So these will go around your pipes. You might have to ream them out a little bit. I don't have the time to go through all that. No offense, or not to be rude. And just there's too much other stuff I have going in my life. So I'm going to show you how to put them together. You're going to have a liner on the inside. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be a little more, a little thicker. It's going to be 1-inch foam instead. That we have a tight fit on the inside. So it'll be like this. You're going to want to go get yourself a pipe cutter, right? This one is for 3/4 of an inch. And you mark out your pipe in 1-foot increments, okay? You're going to need an 8 or a 10-foot pipe. Okay, so what I do is I stick that inside there. I get my wheel lined up with my mark, clamp it shut, and then there's a directional arrow on here that tells you what way you should be spinning. Right? So about 3 or 4 turns, 5, 6, 7, 8 maybe. Right there, I can feel it pop loose there. I have 1-foot copper pipe. All right? Stick that down inside my base like that, and I'm gonna keep going with the rest. Spin it, get a hammer out, tap it down, whatever, but make sure it's down all the way tight to the bottom. Cut these other ones off real quick if you didn't see it the first time. So after that black mark is 1 inch. I'm gonna line my wheel up on it. Clamp this shut. Look for my arrow. It's telling me go this direction. There's an arrow on the inside of this tool specifically, right there. You could buy all kinds of different pipe fit cutters, or whatever. These are the easiest in tight places to use. So this will be your job. This is what you're going to have to do. I can't ship all the copper. I don't want to be messing around with all of the buying and whatever else that goes with it. It's too much moving things around, and just a lot. It's a lot more. So cutting these templates out and getting the cans all cut for you, it's going to be a busy enough thing, believe me. Okay, I only have like a 1/4 inch left on this one. I don't know if this is going to work. Some tools you'll have a hard time getting it to line up on there. That works. So you can watch the wheel come through. See? Because the copper is so soft. Alright, so there's my 6 copper pipes. I'm just going to grab a hammer. So this is the first layer. That one's not fitting with the others, so I don't know. They should all be the same depth. This one's tight. Okay, so I'll take my base plate, the one that does not have all of the holes drilled out. That's the one on the bottom. Stuff these in. You can leave those labels on there if you want to. You already have a pretty tight fit with these because the holes are 7/8 of an inch if you decide to start making these yourself, which I would prefer, and hope that you do so you can sell them or whatever. But the important part is get them off to other people. Right? Other people. What's going on now is not good. So I take my other one, and what I do is I cut a 60-degree angle on there. This will be the base. I want to send that down into the soil like a syringe, right? It's cut like a syringe. So 60 degrees on a table saw or a miter saw is what I cut that with. Now these are cut to the golden ratio, right? It's 1.618. This is 7 5/8. This one is about 12 inches. This one is 30 inches. I only want this pipe to stick out above the base of the can, off the bottom of the can. I want it to stick through by 10 inches out of the bottom. And then that'll leave me with 19, whatever. It's like 19 7/8. So getting this guy down through, after you spin it a few times, it kind of loosens up. I only want to go down about 10 inches. So that golden ratio part of this is pretty important in the way that they function, right? So now what I'm going to do, I can do this 2 different ways. I have a hole through my base on the bottom here, which isn't centered. That's pretty annoying. There. So I'll make a mark on this one, center it up 6 1/2 to 3 1/4. Punch a hole there. If you want to make the cans yourself, buy yourself a step bit or a unibit is what these are called. Right? Look for your specific size. Mine is right here, 7/8 of an inch is the outer diameter of the 3/4 inch pipe. I also made myself a template to punch the holes precisely on every can. So I could just go like this, which is what I did, and I guess it slid on me. So now I just look for my size. It's that easy. I'll take this leftover, send it into the hole. What is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Oh, the bases are off. It looks like it's off center, but it's not. It's 273, 7/8. Yeah. The bottom of the can is off. It looked like it was off center. I'm going, what the hell is wrong? Sorry. Anyway, here. This one is alright. So, what I do here next is grab the steel wool. Right, I'll chop off enough just to get me around the outer part of this. Right? So I see this is where I want my cut to be. Grab some old scissors or whatever you got. That'll be my first part. And I've been wrapping them around the inside here. And that will isolate the base of the can and the foam, right? So now from there, it will take another piece, or two, or a few, and stack up the inside. And try to fill up as much of the area as I can. And if I can't reach my hands down in there, I take something and stuff it in there. Long rod, long piece of copper, whatever you have. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm going to send this one down over the top. I'm going to loosen these up a little bit with my bit. What I would suggest for you is get one pipe in there, get the edge of the pipe in there. Once you have the edge of the pipe in, so this is the difficult part. This is the part I don't have a lot of time for. Now this will keep all my spacing proper for me, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I send that guy down as tight as I can get it, and send the whole thing to the bottom of the can. When I do that repeatedly, my next one I'm going to do the same thing with now. I'm going to send more down inside, take enough to fill up the void. So all you're getting is the can and the crystal and the foam will be in there. You're going to have to go buy some steel wool. You'll find it at Home Depot in the sandpaper area. There'll be steel wool. You want the finest grit that you can get is like a 4 zeros, right? 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, after that piece is in, again, I'm going to go through here and just cut these out a little more. If you buy one of these step bits, you can start making these cloud buffers yourself. That part's done. And again, once again, go down over the top. And I know people are saying I should be doing this on YouTube, right? I don't want the attention. When I tell you the things that happen to a guy like me, you wouldn't believe. So I'll just save you that grief. Now that's my second layer, right? And then my third layer, I'll just fill the rest of that up with as much of this as I can, right? Which I don't want to waste a lot of it because I only have so much. And I'll stuff that in there, and then you can take, instead of using all these expensive epoxies and all this stuff these guys are doing, you know, that stuff is probably $100 or something a gallon. And if we're trying to get the job done and do it inexpensively, that's the reason for the paint can and all this stuff. Yesterday I was at the museum in Maine, the Rangeley Wilhelm Reich Museum, and the inside of the orgone accumulators, tin. It was tin and wool. So all this stuff with the orgonite and you know, the resin traps the energy inside. It traps the energy. It reduces the vibrancy of the energy, you know. So you don't want to use polyresins, in my understanding, you know. Anyway, I've done a lot of reading about it, so I would say if you want to get the job done, I know that these work. Now this is the one. This is going to be sharp, so be careful when you're putting your first one on. Or second, what you could do is just keep pulling on them and pull here against the lid. This one's going to fight with me a little. Should have drilled that one out a little further, maybe. So this is the hardest part of the whole thing, right here. Use these two. But once you have them down and started, get it pushed down a little bit further. There's ready to go. So you might need a man's hands here. They're pretty stiff. And this one here, I'm just pulling against the other. It's already inside. All right, I got them all started now. Okay, and that's how easy it is to put these things together. All right, and I'm really passionate about this because a lot of people are still pointing their finger saying conspiracy theory. You can walk outside and do the lookup challenge, right? Aisha, or Icy, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Red-haired girl from Ireland, very bright, started the lookup challenge. You know, people don't understand what this stuff is all about. It's pretty complicated, and it's hard to get a clear definition of what exactly our governments are all doing. And it is saturating our skies with water vapor, where people are getting flooded out of their homes, and then FEMA would come in and take their property, and those people would have to relocate, right? And if you follow anything about the industrial revolution, the fourth industrial revolution, the smart city agenda, you would understand that's an engineered outcome. It's what they want specifically, is to relocate everybody to a place where they can own nothing and be happy. So if you think you can own nothing and be happy, then you don't need these. You don't have to think about this stuff. You can just keep looking down at the ground, looking at your phone. But that's it. That's how hard these are to put together. That was it. That's the hardest part. Just like a regular paint can, you have to pop it apart with a screwdriver once you get it in the mail. What I was doing also, taking a spray foam and throwing that upper layer over the top, and it keeps the water from running down in. You want the water in there. This is all about ionization. You want the steel wool to interact with the copper and generate negative ions. The crystals is another part of this that you'll get. You just stick them in here, get them started, and shove them all the way down to the bottom. And that's it, man. That's how the Cloudbusters go together out of a paint can. Pretty inexpensive. Altogether, it should cost you maybe $100 or $120, depending on how much crystal or what the prices of the crystal are. You know, I'm basically making about 20 bucks or something on them all, and that's going for the, you know, the cost of the boxes, the cost of the tubing, the crystals, or whatever I'm making on it is going right back into it. So, peace. That's